How we doing so far today, gang? Fun? Liking the new place? I can go station to station? Cool. I'm going to do my best to make this as fun as I possibly can, okay? But I need you to do your best to pay attention for 45 minutes. Cool? Yes? So open up to your learning journal. That's what we're going to be using today. Who did not do their activity? Raise your hand. It's okay if you didn't. How many days did you miss?
I think I didn't do any of them.
Okay.
I wasn't here.
If you don't have enough writing space, can you go find more paper? Yes.
You only know it's in the future.
Huh?
I missed 3 days.
3 days?
I wasn't here.
You weren't? Okay. Yep. So it's on YouTube, the first speech that you can watch. Is that cool?
I did it, although I just didn't. I wrote it down for one day.
Okay.
I missed
3 days? Okay.
I missed 3 days in this morning.
Okay, cool. So at least most of you did something, which is good. Lila, after today, remember to do it each day. What's the most important thing of this whole sports psychology stuff?
That would get better?
Do you have to do the stuff that we assign?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just 5 minutes of your day. And kids, I know you're kids, okay? But I promise you, if you do this 5 minutes a day at your age, it's insane where you'll be mentally by the time you're in high school, okay? So please do your best to do it as consistently as possible. Would I rather have you do it for a really long time one day or small bits and pieces every day? Small bits and pieces every day, okay? Because how bad do we all want to get better here? Do you all want to be as good as you can possibly be? Yeah. Okay, 5 minutes a day. Can we all make that agreement? Mm-hmm. Yes? Cool. Are there any major questions from working on it at home? Any of you?
Is it? Actually,
No, that's okay. I want questions, gang.
do we have to do it on weekends, right? Weekends?
Okay, for you kids, I'll allow you to not do it on weekends, but that means you can't miss a weekday. If you miss a weekday and don't do the weekends, we're going to be in some trouble. Cool? Is that fair? We'll see. I'll come up with something.
Can it involve soda?
No. So are we all cool?
Is it this thing that, like,
So this is what you do for the basketball side of things. Okay, so this is not directly related to the class. It's just for you to prime yourself on what you're doing well each day and what you're not doing and what you can improve upon. Does that make sense? This you bring to your basketball trainers. Okay, your activities you can do on this piece of paper or on a separate piece of paper like Mitchell has.
I did some of them when I was here.
Okay, yep. So are there any questions about that, gang? We're all on the same page? Yes? I would ask, if you're not writing, please put your pen down. You kids I love that you're always on the go, but you guys like to move around and click it, and it can distract other people. Cool? All right. Are we ready to learn?
Yeah.
Okay. So, eyes and ears here. Don't worry about Grant. The first thing we're going to talk about today, and you can write on your notebook, is time. Okay? That's what this whole speech is going to be about. And we briefly went over it in the first speech, but you're going to write down the words time. Okay? When we're talking about time in our sport and in our life, okay, what's the issue for most people? They're never where?
In the present.
They're never in the present most of the time. Okay? Why is this a problem?
Because if you're not in the present, you're either thinking about the past or thinking about the future, which is
Where's the only place you can grow, kids?
present.
The only place you can grow is right here, correct? You can't grow in the future or the past, right? The only moment's now. So the more present you are you going to grow faster? Yeah. Because does everyone grow at some rate? Yes. Okay. We're all growing at some rate, but it's about figuring out what grows us the fastest to give us the results we want. Does that make sense? Presence allows you to tap into that fast track to growth. Cool? So the issue right now is we're not spending time in the only place we can grow. Are we all on the same page? So that's the cause and the problem. The cause for this is our poor ability to focus. Okay? So write that down. Poor ability to focus is the cause of us not being able to stay present. Okay? If we don't have good focus, kids, are we going to get stuck in the past a lot and stuck in the future? Yes. An example could be on a play. Say you airball a shot, Colin, right? A lot of kids, do they get stuck on that shot? That is lack of focus. Okay, and I'm going to teach you how we can tap into that superpower. That's what today's all about. If we're really nervous about an event that we're going to experience, okay, what's going on? Are we stuck where? In the future. So do you see how it's really powerful to be able to be present? Because do you have any problems in the present? No. Where do all our problems come from? Thinking about what? The past or the future. Isn't that crazy? Okay. The result, once we have the ability to focus, okay, we're going to feel free. And I'll teach you why we're going to feel that way. But first, we're going to talk about the monkey mind. What does a monkey do?
Falls out of a tree.
You're close. What does it do from?
Climbs up a tree.
Well, where does it go on a tree? It goes from branch to branch. What does our mind do when we're thinking mindlessly? Thought. It just wants to keep thinking, okay? Do a lot of those help us? No. If we're going from thought here to thought there to thought there, is it scattering our mind? Yes. Thinking and time are connected, and we're going to get into it. But when we're thinking, the thought is normally outside what? Is it outside this moment most of the time? Yeah. Yes. So we're scattering our mind in time, in different places in time. If we're scattering our mind in different places in time, where is it not being spent? Here. Okay, so focus is a recollection. We're recollecting our scattered mind and bringing our power to this moment. Does that make sense? Okay. Say I did an activity with you kids and I had you stand in different parts of the room. That would represent your scattered mind, correct? Lila's thinking about what she's going to eat for dinner. You're thinking about, Mitchell, the shot you missed earlier today, right? If we wanted as a group to get better at something collectively, would we want to use all of our energy on one thing or scatter it in different places? Which one's going to improve faster? One thing. Okay. So remember, hold the pens and pencils, please, for the clicking. Okay. Do we have a limited amount of energy? Yeah. So if we're spending energy in thoughts and time, where is there not energy being spent? Here. Where's the only place you can grow? Here. That's how you get good really, really fast, is how well you can be here. Cool? So does it make sense when we're talking about scattered mind and recollecting? That all makes sense so far? Cool. We'll keep talking about it, Cole. Okay? Focus and mindfulness. Let's write this down. Focus and mindfulness. What's mindfulness, kids? Person 2. Who's person 2? The watcher. What's mindfulness? Come on, kids. This was the whole first speech.
The watcher.
Yes, the watcher. What is that, though?
Mindfulness.
What is mindfulness?
The watcher.
Yes, but what is it?
Having a calm state of mind or something.
Close. What'd you say? Yeah, person 2. You're all correct on what the name of it is, but what's the definition?
1 second.
What do you got, Ollie? Okay.
Awareness in the moment.
Boom. Okay. On purpose awareness of the present moment. Everyone write that down, because none of you could answer that for me, and we need to know that. Let's write it down, Colin. What is mindfulness, Colin?
Yeah, like being positive.
Close. On purpose. Everyone write that down. Awareness. And you weren't here the first day, so you're good. You're not on the hot seat. Of this moment. What is mindfulness, Nolan?
On purpose, awareness of this moment.
Yes. So do you know what's going on inside you? Can you see it when we're watching? Yes. What about outside of you? If you're watching and being mindful, do you know what's going on? The dictator is when we're on autopilot, so are we lost? Yes. We can't see, right? Mitchell, what movie do you want to see? You okay? So say Inside Out 2. Does anybody want to see that? No? You already saw it? Do you want to see it? You want to see it? What's your favorite part about Inside Out 2? She hasn't seen it. She doesn't know. When we're lost, can we see what's going on? So can we understand the cause and help ourselves or replicate what we want? No. Mindfulness is that ability to see. Are we all good? What's mindfulness, Colin?
Awareness of this moment.
Does that make sense what it is, though?
Yeah.
So next time when we come to, I need you all, that's the whole point of what we're doing here. So we need to know what that is. Cool? All right, focus, you can write this down, is the battery pack to your mindfulness. Okay, what do you think this means?
Can you say that again?
Focus is the battery pack to our mindfulness. Any guesses? If we don't have good focus, does our mindfulness have a lot of power in our battery? No. Having good focus means there's a lot of battery for our mindfulness. Okay? So you know how like early iPhones have really bad battery? So early iPhones, since they're of course older, they die really fast. That's an example of having poor focus but good mindfulness. But if we have good focus and good mindfulness, is that battery pack going to be much larger and can we last a longer time with our mindfulness superpower? Yes. So do we have to work on both together? Yes. Does that make sense? Okay. This phrase, it doesn't matter how long the room is dark for, okay? A light switch when you turn a dark room on, okay? That's an example of us turning on the mindfulness in our brain, okay, when we turn the lights on. When we turn the lights on, does it matter how long the room was dark for, Ollie? No. So this is focus, kids, right? And just pay attention. This is the most important piece of today. Focus is your ability to reset or recollect, right? So your ability to come back to this moment is what focus is. It's refocus. Real focus is refocus. Does that make sense? It's not this holding of focus for long periods of time. It's about when you get lost and you come back quickly. Does that make sense? So say I'm someone and I'm in thought and I'm getting lost. Okay, and I come back. The longer I'm lost means I have less what? Boom, focus. If I get lost for really quick periods of time and I come back really, really fast, I have great what? Focus. I can reset quickly. James. Yes, yep, okay. So, real focus is refocus, James, right? So our ability to come back to this moment and reset to the present moment. Does that make sense? It's a recollecting of our scattered brain in time, and we're coming back to here. That's what real focus is. Now, this is the biggest thing of today. Are we all ready for it? Where can failure exist? It can only exist in one place. Where is that? Well, true. Close, the opposite of that. What's the subject of the speech? What did you write at the top of the page? Time. Listen, kids, eyes and ears. You can only fail in time. So say I focus on, and we're going to learn what meditation is, but say I'm meditating for 5 minutes, and I'm trying to hold my mindfulness, but I go in and out of mindfulness as I'm getting lost, okay? If we're in time and we look at the start and the end, can we have points of failure? When we get lost. But if focus is just about your ability to reset, okay, can you fail? No. Because if you notice you're lost, what do? You come back. So can you fail? No. So you can only fail in time. When you notice you're lost, you reset. Is that really freeing to know that all you need to do is reset when you notice you're lost? Yeah. Is that going to put a lot of pressure on you and strain? No. Right? But if we think of it in time, oh, I was focused here and I wasn't focused there, then we have that pressure. We have that pass-fail mindset. Does that make sense? Yes. So where's the only place you can fail? Time. So can you see how it's really, really powerful for someone to have good powers of presence? Because they don't have that mindset of pass-fail. They're just focused on being here now. When they're not here now, they reset. So what does it mean when I say it doesn't matter how long the room is dark for? Once you turn the light switch on, does it matter how long it was dark?
No.
It does not matter.
It doesn't matter how long you're not focused for, as long as you're able to bring it back.
Exactly, right? So focus is about resetting. It's not about that holding of the focus. Does that make sense? Reset, recollect. That's what I want us to be paying attention to. Cool? We're all on the same page? Cool. Okay. The flow state. Have any of you heard of this before?
No.
Okay, that's okay. We're going to learn about it today. But first, let's talk about the difference between concentration and focus. What did we just learn focus is? Okay, no one nailed it on the head. Real focus is refocus. Does that make sense when we're talking about refocus? Yes? Concentration is that concept of holding focus. Okay, can you fail if you're working on concentration? Can you fail?
No.
Because it's in time, right? How well can I hold this focus? That's what concentration is. Which one do I want us to focus on? Focus, right? But say we work on focus. Say we continually reset more and more and more. Is concentration going to go up?
No.
Yeah, if you reset faster and faster and faster, that's how you grow concentration. So do I need to think about growing concentration? No. You think about focus, that'll naturally lead to this. Does that make sense, the difference? Do you want me to draw an example or no? Or we all got it? Okay, cool. Okay. So the flow state. So have you ever seen someone in basketball and they just can't miss?
Yeah.
That's the flow state. Okay. When we're in a flow state, there is no sense of time. So that means they're fully where? Present. Okay. And full presence has to do with how well you can concentrate. And where does concentration come from? Focus. What is focus? How do we build that? We refocus over and over and over again. So if we're refocusing over and over and over again, kids, okay, does that mean we're going to be able to get in the flow state more? Yeah. Where do we perform best? In the flow state. So you see how this has a direct correlation with basketball? You're going to shoot really, really good if you know how to focus for long periods of time. Cool? Are there any major questions? You guys are doing really good. This is complicated stuff. Okay, am I doing okay making it easy to understand? Okay. You good, Ollie?
If you stop, how is it like when you said you come back quickly with concentration?
Yep.
Concentration, you stay on it, or do you come back?
Yep, so where's my... Okay, so concentration and focus, okay? Focus, if you can look at, like this is the point of full presence. If someone's really good at focusing, they do what really fast? They come back. They reset really, really fast. Someone who can't focus, do they get lost for a long time? Yeah. And then they come back. Lost for a long time, and then they come back. Concentration, Ollie, is the concept of how well you can hold this resetting. So if you can hold it for long periods of time, do you have really good concentration? Yes. But is it possible to hold it for an insanely long period of time?
I wish.
No, it's not. Yeah, I wish too. Right? So concentration looks like this. Okay? If we learn how to refocus over and over and over again, Ollie, will our concentration look more like... Will it look more like that? If you refocus more and more? Mm-hmm. Yes. But do we need to focus on this at all to get better at it? No. That is what I want you to understand. Cool? Because can you fail? Is there a pass-fail mindset with this? Mm-hmm. Yes. This doesn't. Because when you notice you're lost, you reset. Cool? Awesome. Get the difference between the two? Beautiful. You guys are doing a great job. Does anybody have a watch on them? What time is it?
1 sec.
38. Okay, watch is down. Okay, now let's talk about presence. Okay, what's presence?
Being here.
Being here. Beautiful, let's write that down. That's a perfect definition. Presence is being here. And here we're just going to talk about some different phrases that have helped me in knowing how important being present is in our game in life. Okay? First one, and any of these, write down the ones that call out most to you. We forget around 90% of our life.
Jesus.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? 90% we're going to forget. So at the end of the day, what's the only thing that matters? That you're here for it. That you don't miss it. Right? That you're fully there for what you're experiencing. That's our number one job on a daily basis. Does Does that make sense, James? Kind of? Okay. This moment is eternity. What's eternity? Forever lasting. Is there only ever the present? Yes, it's just the present. We'll see. That would be pretty crazy. Okay? So where's the only place we should try and spend our time? Present. Okay? Thoughts and time are connected. Write this down. This is huge. Thoughts and time are connected. What do you think this means? If our brain is where, if our brain's in the past and future more, are we going to have more thoughts? Yeah. Okay. So how much you're thinking has a direct correlation to how present you are. If you're more present, are you going to have less thoughts? Are you going to be less distracted?
Yeah.
So can you do a better job of doing the work that you need to do to get better here? Yes. Does that make sense? So when we're not present, that's when we're overthinking. That's when we're constantly thinking. So they're connected. So do you see how it's a snowball, where if you're more present, you think less, you get more present, you think less, and it just keeps rolling and rolling? That's that upward spiral effect of what presence can do for you. Does that make sense? Is thinking overrated from what we've learned so far?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, because what are we wired to be?
We're wired to be negative.
Boom. We have a negativity bias, right? We want to put that control back in your power. Now, can you fully control thoughts?
No.
No. Okay, and we'll get into that in the speech about there are times when it's okay to be in the past and future, but we'll talk about that. When we're in that flow state, what kind of perception do we have? Mindful. So it's that sense of timelessness where you can't really feel time. That's the watcher. When we're watching, we have a sense of timelessness. Does that make sense? Because when the dictator's in control, we're having a lot of what?
Mindlessness.
Thoughts. So we're in the past and future more. Does that make sense? Mitchell, does that make sense? Okay. There's only one important time. What is it? Present. Only one important person. What is it? Close. Close. The people you're with. So the most important people, I should rephrase that statement, is who's in the moment now. Because what's the only moment that's real? Now. Does that make sense?
So you're saying my whole life's a lie by saying this is the only way?
No, I'm not.
Kind of confusing.
Yep, okay, that's totally okay. Okay? When we experience something, say you're thinking about something in the past, is it the actual experience or is it a thought about it?
Thought about it.
Thought about it. Am I saying that the past that you experience isn't real? No, you just have to remember that it's a thought about it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. That's the key point. And there's only one important pursuit.
Present.
Being where? Present. Right? That's the important pursuit. Okay? So this is really good, kids. Who are we and what are we defined by? Who we are in what moment? Who you are now. Does it matter who you were 5 seconds ago? No. Does it matter who you're going to be? No, it matters who you are now. Is that very freeing?
Yeah.
Very. Because can you always be whoever you want to be?
Yes.
It just takes full presence. Choose who you want to be right now. That's what defines you. It doesn't matter who you were. It doesn't matter who you're going to be. It matters who you are right now. Okay? That's so important to understand. So I want you all to write it down. I am who I am right now, and that's it. And why is that so beneficial for us?
Because we can focus on what we're doing.
Yes, and are we going to get stuck in who we were 5 minutes ago? No, because you're going to...
You're not going to get stuck with who you want to be.
Yeah, exactly. You kids are smart. Okay? But then we can be our best self more. We can be the person we want to be right now more. Does that make sense, James? Kind of. So, what are we training for then?
Who we want to be.
How well we can be what? We are training for how well we can be our best self in this moment. That's what we're training for. Because if you do that over and over and over again, are you going to get the way more results than you ever could have imagined? Mm-hmm. Yes. So let's write that down. I am training to be my best self in this moment. That's what I'm training for. And we do that over and over and over and over again. It's that simple. But you can only be your best self if you're fully aware. So you're training to be the best person you can be in this moment, over and over again. Because the pursuit is now, right? Does that make sense, kids? You're doing an unbelievable job, okay? This is where we get some fun, okay?
Candy?
No, not candy. VR, have you kids seen VR before or know what it is? You have one, okay? Virtual reality, all right? Are thoughts a simulation? It's a simulation of an event. Whether it's something that did happen, Cole, it's still a thought about the experience, okay? Does that make sense when we're talking about what a simulation is? This is very tricky and important to understand, all right? We overestimate simulations in our brain, okay? So an example of this, say, Nolan, you're thinking about, you're down to 2 points, 3 seconds left on the clock, and you're thinking about hitting a buzzer beater from 3 to win the national championship in the NBA Finals, okay? When you're thinking about that experience, your brain overestimates the feeling that you're going to have as a consequence of that moment, okay? The same is vice versa for the past. So say we're thinking about something that did happen, okay, and we're overestimating the negative feelings that came with it, whether it's embarrassment or something didn't go the way it wanted to go, okay? It overestimates the real feeling that you would experience in the present moment. Why is this very dangerous? Well, say the experience does happen to you, Nolan. NBA Finals, national championship, you hit a three-pointer, okay, and you constantly thought about it, and it didn't feel how you thought it was going to feel. Is this going to cause a lot of problems for us? Yeah, exactly, right? It's not going to be as good of an experience as it could be if you were just fully where? Present, okay? But the reason this is important to understand, wanting outside of whatever is now. If we're wanting outside of now more and more, okay, are we going to experience things in the way we imagined? No. And so this is great, because are things ever as bad as they seem? They're never as bad as they seem, but are they as good as they seem? No. Okay, it keeps us on that even playing field. All right? You're wired, okay, kids, you're wired to want outside of now. Why? So, have you kids heard of the chemical called dopamine before?
Yeah.
What's dopamine? That's okay.
Makes you happy.
Makes you feel good. I wouldn't say happy. It makes you feel pleasure, right? It feels good. An example of this, when we want to eat food and we're hungry, we get a hit of what? Dopamine, okay? We're wired this way because if we didn't get dopamine when we ate food, would we survive? No, because you wouldn't have any motivation to go eat food, okay? However, in today's day and age, are all of you kids blessed? Very. You're in this class, so you are very, very blessed. Your parents do a great job taking care of you, okay? So do you have to focus on surviving anymore, like some kids used to have to focus on?
This is in the 1930s.
Yeah, exactly, okay? We live in a different era. So do we need to want what's ever outside of now more, or no? We don't need to do that anymore, but you're wired that way still. So what we're doing is we're rewiring what you're wanting to be where? To here. Now this is why it's so important, kids. This is the most important thing you might work. You are less likely to work hard, write this down, if the reward is only after. If you're getting the dopamine hit only after you put in the work, why is this such a huge problem? Because it's dangerous. Well, are you motivated in this example? Yeah, you are. You're motivated to get to your goal, right? But why is that an issue? If we're only getting the rewards after, where's our brain? In the future. The whole workout, you are in the future because you just want it to be over, right? So are you growing as fast as you could be? No. Okay. This facility is a good example, okay? A lot of people have come up to me and they're like, you're probably so excited about this place. It's so cool, which it is. It's awesome, okay? But I enjoy the day-to-day stuff. I enjoy this significantly, like just as much as getting this cool place for you kids, all right? So that means I'm getting my dopamine hits from where? The work or the reward?
The work.
The work, which brings you more what? Results, right? If you're getting the dopamine hit from what you do, the work you do, like that's just as fun as getting the reward, are you going to get good really fast? Yeah. Really fast. Because you enjoy the work just as much as you enjoy the reward. Are we saying the reward doesn't matter at the end? Not saying that, but it has to matter just as much as the work. If you care about the reward more than the work, it's not going to work out, and you're not going to be as good as you could be.
Something I don't understand is why do like big sports players like that are really good, why do they, if they really love the sport, why do they still do it to make more money? Like why would they leave a team to make more money?
To make more money?
Yeah, does that not mean that they're like you're saying that you're happy about the work just as much as the reward, so shouldn't they be happy with the sport that they're playing just as much as the reward?
That's a good thought. So an example of that, Nolan, is say you didn't care about the money at all. That means you love the work more than the reward, which is great. I would argue that that's going to benefit you more, but most people, are they wired that way? Kids, a lot of the things you're learning, most people have never learned ever, right now. Most people haven't learned about this stuff. They don't know how they're wired. They don't know how their brain thinks and acts, okay? And I'm not saying it's wrong, right? But there are different priorities that we have. And we don't know what types of things go into decisions like that. But you're right. If they didn't care about the reward at all, it wouldn't matter. But I'm not saying you shouldn't care about the reward. I'm saying you should care about it just as much as the work. Does that make sense? But do we get how we're going to get more results if we have that focus, that type of mindset? Okay. Cool. And then dwelling. So if we're in we have a limited amount of energy, correct? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. If we're in the future or past more, that means less energy is being spent where? Here. So there's less energy being spent here. So thinking about the past and the future and bringing them into the present moment is like carrying a bag of rocks. Okay? You're constantly dwelling on something that did happen or something that's going to happen, right? People that are fully present, they let go of what? They let go of the rocks. So do they feel lighter? Do they feel better? Are they going to be a better player in person? Are they going to make better decisions? Yes, you're not getting stuck when you're present. Does that make sense? Cool. Where are we at for time? 51? Okay. We're going to talk about this. Okay, we're going to have to speed up a little bit. So, we never use the past to the future. What's the enemy of mindfulness? Being what? Being lost, right? So if I'm thinking about the future and the past without knowing I'm thinking about the future and the past, is that the enemy? Yes. I'm not saying don't think about the future and past. I'm saying know when you're thinking about it. Because if you know, if you can see it, can you understand it? Yes. If you don't see it, can you understand it like your favorite part of the movie you didn't watch? No. So is that going to help us? You have to see to understand. Cool? We're all on the same page? So am I saying you can't think about the past and future? No. You have to know you're thinking about it, though. Okay. So steps for controllables. So at the end of the day, let's write these down. You remember these controllables that we talked about? If we put all our energy into what we can control, are we going to maximize our potential? Yes. If we're spending energy on things we can't control, are we leaving potential from what we can maximize out? Yes. So you have 1, reset and recollection. That's step 1, coming back to the moment, resetting. Doesn't matter how long the room is dark for. Step 2 is taking on a what perception? Mindful, or the watcher, right? So taking in the information with that type of seeing. And then the third is the best self response. How do I respond in my best self? Because we're defined by who we are in what moment? This moment. That's the only one that matters. How you respond right now, that's the only response that ever matters. Do that over and over again. Cool? Essentially, being as successful as you could possibly be, kids, is repeating this from moment to moment to moment. Does that make sense? Eyes and ears. Cool? Are we all on the same page? So what are we going to focus on a daily basis? Those 3 steps. Cool?
Didn't write all that down.
Okay, so you got reset, mindful, response. Cool? Now, meditation. All right, so we're going to learn how to meditate today. What do you guys think of when you think of meditation? Okay? Yeah, right? So I'm here to tell you that that's not the correct way to think about meditation. There's a more productive way of thinking about it. All right? Meditation is using different types of focus to work on different things mentally. All right? Today, what our meditation activity is going to be, everyone show me their correct meditation position. The ones we learned. Is our back on a rest? What's our spine? It's a stack of Coins. And you weren't here for that, so it's a stack of coins. It's a balance between being relaxed, okay, and alert. All right? In this meditation that we're going to learn, okay, 5 minutes a day. This is a 5-minute activity you're going to do every weekday. So you should have 5 days this week, correct? Are all of you going to bring that to next class? If you don't show up to class. Cool? Because are we wasting our times if you're not going to work on what we learn? Yes. Does that make sense? Okay, so this is called the in-out breath meditation. Okay? All you're doing when you inhale is you're quietly saying in your brain, in. What do you think we're going to do when we exhale? Out. It's simple and boring, and that's the point. Why do we want it to be boring? Then your monkey mind. I got to get out of here. I got to escape. So is it going to give you a lot of insight to be able to watch that happen? Yes. What did we learn focus is? How well we can what? Come back. That's the muscle we're building. So is it about not thinking? It's not, right? Everyone thinks, I suck at meditation. I can't sit still and not think. That's not what it's about. It's about knowing when you're lost and coming back. That's all it is, kids. So can you do this wrong? No. It's just resetting over and over and over again. Because you can only fail in a what type of mindset? When we think of it in time, right? But if it's just about resetting, it doesn't matter how long the room is dark for, you come back to that breath. So the breath is like an anchor. You know what an anchor is in fishing? Yes. It anchors us to this moment. It keeps us here. When we drift off from the anchor, we come back where? Come back here. That's the present. Okay? That's what we're trying to do. Why is the breath a great anchor? Is it always in every moment you ever live? Yeah. Yes. Right? You need the breath to live. Okay? So is it a great tool you can use on a daily basis? Yes. Do we want to separate our practice, kids? Do I want you to meditate 5 minutes in the morning and then you stop doing it? No. Try and be present throughout the day. That's what the breath is for. That's what the 5 minutes in the morning is for, so you can have momentum throughout the day. When you notice you're lost, you come back where? To the present. You do that throughout the day to your best of your ability. Does that make sense? Now, something we're going to do. When you get lost, I want you to note what got you lost. So say Nolan, he's trying to do his in-out. He did really good for the first couple in-out breaths, and then he started thinking about food. Whew. A tasty snack after this sports psychology class. Once you notice that you got lost from that thought, I just want you to note the type of mind that you had. Hungry mind. Okay? If you're thinking about the past, you could label it past mind. Okay? Does the label I want you to note what you got lost in matter more than the noting itself? What matters more? Noting it? Yeah. Noting it and coming back. So am I caught up in what mind you say you're lost in? Do I really care about that? I just care that you note it. Does that make sense? Because if we note it, does that mean we've created clear separation between what's going on? Yes. Does that make sense? So again, an example. In, out. Oh, I'm starting to get nervous about 3v3 today. I don't want to play bad. Nervous mind. Come back to the breath. Does that make sense? Are there any questions right now about what we're doing? Okay. We're going to, what's the time, Cole?
I just put away my watch.
You're good. 57, okay. We got enough time for 1 minute, and then we're going to have time for questions at the end after we practice. So everyone get in their position. Do I want you to move during this? I want you to try not to. If you have that energy or that feeling to move, is that a great practice to separate, to watch it? It's a great opportunity to watch it. Why can't I sit still? Okay, and see what happens.
So can I just write like how I got lost in there?
So we're not, yep. So this one you're sitting still the entire time until after the 5 minutes is over. Then you write about it. Write what you got lost in. What are the insights? What did I learn about myself? Does that make sense? Yeah. So it's not like the last one where you sit for a couple seconds and write it down. You're doing it for the full length now, and then you can write down after.
And it's once a day.
It's once a day for 5 minutes. Cool? Now, one thing with your routine, once you get into position, I want you to take 3 really slow and really long, deep rests. Because if our body's moving fast, is our mind moving fast? Yeah. So if we slow our breathing down, that'll slow the mind down. After you do the 3 really slow, deep rests, okay, I want you to just breathe naturally. Just let yourself breathe and watch it. We're not trying to control anything. You're just watching it. Does that make sense? Which is why it's called the watcher. Questions? No? Ready? Yep.
I just forgot how to set it. Oh, I did it the last few days, but I just forgot how to.
Okay, so the chart thing, we don't have to worry about anymore. This is going to be our activity for the week. Cool? And we can talk about that after Grayson. Got 1 minute. Ready? And we're going to close our eyes because we'll be less distracted that way. Go. Time. Is that challenging?
Yeah. I didn't think it would be.
60% of you 60% of you stayed still. 40% of you did not. Do you want, you're doing the best of your ability to stay still though, because you're just trying to watch, okay? Because when we mindlessly move, who's in control? The dictator, right? If you're trying to get yourself to move and you can't sit still, does that mean we don't have a lot of power right now? I'm trying to give you that power. Does that make sense? What are the major questions we have from that, what we just did? Any? Did everybody kind of get the point of it?
Yeah. Does it matter if we breathe through our nose or our mouth?
Great question. So there's 3 spots I'd want you to focus on. Either the tip of the nose, the chest, or the belly. Whichever one you naturally are drawn to, focus there. But that's the spot you come back to, wherever that is. I personally do the tip of the nose.
Well, I was like focusing on like the side of my nose and I'm like, oh.
That's fine. As long as it's consistent, you're coming back to the same sensation. Cool?
So for this one, do we not have to write anything down?
Yes, I would like you to write down your reflections after you're done. You guys still have to do the 5 minutes at some point today, because that was 1. You got to do the other 4 at some point. But you'd write down, where was I getting lost? What was hard? Was it easy today? Did I move a lot? Did I not move a lot? Just write down a quick little reflection. Cool? Great work, gang. Great work. Class dismissed.